Hello people, Keterson here, and welcome to a story time. I couldn't say to another story time because this is actually the first story time, but yeah, today I'm going to be telling you all the time that my friend's mother kicked me out of his house because I was too poor at the age of like 11. Yeah, probably the biggest Karen I've ever had any interactions with. This story literally just gets so insane. It's so stupid. Buckle up, get a cup of water or, whatever you want to drink. Get a little snack. Make sure you guys do like if you enjoy, and also don't forget to subscribe. Trust me, people forget a lot. Just do it now so you don't forget later. Yeah, thank you. And with that all being said and done, let's get into the story. So at my school, there were only like 5 or 6 boys in my whole entire class, which is pretty crazy to think about. I mean, then again, there was only like 50 or 60 total people in my whole entire grade. So, it was like a smaller school, but still, there weren't really many people to, be friends with. But I was friends with this one guy, and his name, we'll call him Mark. Now, obviously, that's not actually his name, but for the purpose of the video, we're calling him Mark. Now, Mark was, I guess the best way to explain it would be to just have you envision Sid from Toy Story. Yeah, that was basically Mark. Now, Mark was this extremely edgy kid, but also, I found him pretty funny. We'd sit there and make jokes about people in our grade and stuff like that. We were pretty young, so I don't really remember too many of the details, but it was probably like in 5th or 6th grade, something like that. Like I said, I think I was 11 years old. But yeah, basically just an edgy kid. That's all you gotta really know. Now, I've been friends with Mark for a pretty long time at this point, probably since like 1st or 2nd grade. And we didn't hang out a ton outside of school. Sometimes we go to like amusement park, or, we go to like the football game or something like that. But for the most part, we would just hang out in school. We had all the same classes, basically spent the whole day at school together. So at this point, I've never been over his house before. I do remember him coming over my house, however, maybe 1 or 2 times. Now, the first time is something that I could definitely remember. Now, I already knew that Mark had a little bit of money, at least, like his family did, because at the age of 11, he already had like the newest iPhone. All I had at that time was like one of those track phones that could only call. But yeah, he had like the newest iPhone, literally, at the age of 11. So yeah, I always wondered how he had the iPhone, but I didn't really notice that he was as rich as we will soon see. But I started to realize a few things the day that he visited my house. So at the time, I didn't have that big of a house. It was 1 floor, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. That's about it. Anyways, his mom dropped him off at my house. I didn't really get to see her at all. He was just at my door. I let him in and she drove off. That's about it. So I didn't really get to have any interactions with his mom at this time. Like, I still have not met his mom at this point at all. So he comes in. My mom's all happy that someone's over the house. She like greets him, gets him water, all that stuff. Anyways, after my mom's finished, she goes back downstairs. We go over to my room and we load up some Minecraft on my Xbox and we start mining away. I had this huge survival world at the time, had like so many buildings in it. I would spend every single day on this Minecraft world, and I don't have it anymore. I really wish that I did, but that Minecraft world was honestly the shit, bro. I'm telling you. Like, I had the biggest house ever in there. All right, I even followed a YouTube tutorial to make it. That's how dedicated I was. So we were sitting there playing Minecraft, just doing our thing. I think probably like 15, maybe 30 minutes passed, and Mark had to go to the bathroom. So he gets up, goes to the bathroom, comes back, and we keep playing Minecraft. Didn't really think much of it, just thought it was a little bathroom break. Well, another 10 minutes later, after we started playing Minecraft again, Mark tells me he got to go to the bathroom again. So I say, go ahead. He goes to the bathroom. This time, I don't hear any bathrooming. I just hear the sink on. And then he turns off the sink and comes back into the room. Now, at first I thought that this was a little weird. Like, did he just go in there just to wash his hands, or like whatever? I didn't really care. Maybe he had something on his hand. He wanted to wash it off. Didn't think much of it, honestly. I just thought it was a little weird, but I just went back to playing Minecraft anyways. Well, another 15-20 minutes passed, and Mark is in the bathroom again, washing his hands. No bathrooming at all. So he comes back out this time, and I just had to ask him, bro. I just had to know what he was doing. I said, why do you go to the bathroom every 10 minutes? Are you okay? And wait until you hear what he said to me. He told me that whenever his mom dropped him off at the house. Before he got out of the car, she told him to make sure that he washes his hands as much as possible, because the house that he was getting dropped off at was a quote-unquote dump and he could get sick from there. Now, whenever I heard that, my mind was just boggled, bro. I didn't even know what to think at that point. I was like, what are you talking about? My house isn't a dump. Does it look like a dump? And, you know, he looks around a little bit and he says, well, I mean, it's kind of not the biggest house, but it's clean. I just say, you know, yeah, that makes sense. You know, I don't really want to talk about this with him right now. I just want to play Minecraft. So we just go back to playing Minecraft. He keeps washing his hands the whole time, and then eventually he leaves. His mom picks him up and he goes. Didn't see his mom again, never had any interactions with her. He just left and he was gone, and then we saw each other the next day at school. But anyways, let me backtrack a little bit. After he left, I went over to my mom's room and, you know, I started talking to her about how my friend's mother said that our house was a dump. And, you know, I just wanted to hear her say that it wasn't, so then I felt better about myself, because honestly, that was kind of embarrassing. But yeah, my mom was like, this isn't a dump, honey. This is a nice house. And, you know, that's how the conversation went. But, you know, I could tell that my mom was a little offended that my friend's mother said that about our house. So there was that. Anyways, fast forward a few weeks and Mark invites me over to his house. Now, this is going to be the first time that I ever go to his house. Never been there before. And also, it would be my first time meeting his parents. And, you know, I accept his invitation not only because I just want to hang out with him, but also mostly because I knew that he had a Wii U at his house and I needed to play it. This is whenever the Wii U first came out, by the way. Anyways, I end up going over to his house, and whenever we start pulling up to the community that he lives in, me and my mom were sitting there like, oh my god, look at these houses. Like, they were the biggest houses I have ever seen. I didn't even know that there were houses this big near to me. But yeah, we're driving through this community full of these luxurious mansions, like nicest houses you'll ever see. And eventually our GPS says that we're at his house. And at first, honestly, I thought it was a mistake. I was like, there's no way that he lives in that house. It was literally the biggest house in all of this community. It was the grand one, like the huge mansion that beats out all the other mansions. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It looked like something straight out of LA. Anyways, we pull up to almost the driveway. There was like a gate in front of the driveway and we had to push a button, and then like this guy, I think it was their butler, which is crazy, like he came over the intercom and asked who we were, and then he let us in, drove up the driveway, my mom let me out, and then she left and I go into this house. So whenever I get up to the door, Mark lets me in, and, you know, as I'm walking in, I don't see his mom or his dad anywhere. Like, at that point, I didn't even know if they were home at the time. But yeah, Mark takes me up to his room and we just start playing on the Wii U, playing some Mario Kart, doing our thing. After maybe about an hour of us playing Mario Kart, his mom finally enters his room. Now, she didn't offer me any water or snacks or anything. Actually, from the second she entered Mark's room, she was just giving me this death stare, looking at me as if I just did something terrible. So yeah, like a couple minutes of this awkward silence and staring, and then she starts talking. She says, you must be Keed. And I go, yeah, that's me. I'm Keed. And then, you know, we carry a little conversation. She's trying to get to know me, I guess. And then she says, oh, I remember you. You're the kid who had Mark over in your dump house. And once she makes this realization, she calls her husband upstairs too. Now he's here just, you know, kind of standing, and she starts going off. I remember her saying something like, people with houses like yours are dirty, and I don't like dirty people in my house. And then I remember her complaining to her husband about how much money she's gonna have to spend to clean the house after I leave, as if I'm contaminating the whole entire house with my poorness. She kept saying stuff like this, and, you know, eventually it got to me, alright? I kind of bit back a little. I didn't really know what to say, so basically I just settled with calling her a bitch. Now you might argue that the reason I'm about to get kicked out of her house is because I called her a bitch and I was like 11 years old, but honestly, this all stemmed from her saying that I was like gonna be too dirty to be in their house because I don't have a nice house myself. Even though I'm 11 and I don't control what kind of house I have at that point, like, sorry I was born into this house. That I was perfectly fine with, by the way. I love that house and my family, like literally best family ever. Setting that aside, after I called her a bitch, she snapped. I don't even know what the hell she was saying, all right? I really don't know the words that were coming out of her mouth. It was like screeching, ear-piercing noises coming out of her mouth. She was just angry. She was going off. I remember her husband just standing there looking so disappointed. And then he eventually walked away, and she went off even harder on me. She was like, "You're never allowed back in this house again." And I remember her telling Mark that we are not allowed to be friends anymore, and you know, all this crazy stuff. She got my mom on the phone and like started yelling at her for even having me come over here, and she told her that she needs to come pick me up immediately. So about 10 to 15 minutes later, my mom gets there. I don't even say anything to anybody. I just leave. I get out of the house, get in my mom's car, and we drive away. I had a little conversation with my mom about what happened, and nothing really else happened since then. I was no longer friends with Mark because of his insane family, which kind of sucks because honestly, playing Minecraft and Mario Kart and all that with Mark was pretty fun. You know, like we had a good time at each other's houses, I'm not gonna lie. But his mom didn't want me to be friends with him, and you know, there was kind of all that, and it was just embarrassing. So, you know, I see him the next day at school. We don't even talk to each other, literally. Don't even make eye contact, actually. Honestly sucks. So not only did his mom kick me out of her house for being too poor, she also ruined like one of the only friendships I had in like 5th or 6th grade. So kudos to that guy's mom. Absolute degenerate.